9 signs that angels are in your home, everyone. Have you ever walked into your home and felt an unexplainable peace? Maybe a gentle presence, a comforting warmth, or even signs that made you stop and think, is someone watching over me? Have you ever walked into your home after a long, stressful day and felt something you couldn't quite explain? A sudden calm, a wave of warmth, or even a soft sense of peace that wasn't there before? That subtle shift, something you don't see, but you deeply feel, could very well be the presence of angels. They rarely announce themselves with grand gestures. Instead, their arrival is often soft, graceful, and filled with a quiet power that transforms the space around them. The energy of a home speaks volumes. Every emotion that takes place within it leaves a kind of imprint. Joy, sadness, arguments, laughter, it all adds to the atmosphere, whether we realize it or not. So when the energy suddenly feels brighter, lighter, or simply more whole, it's not always just your imagination or mood. It may be a spiritual presence making itself known. Angels are beings of pure divine light. They vibrate on a much higher spiritual frequency than we do. So when they enter a space, the energy shifts to match theirs. You might not physically see them, but you may find yourself breathing more deeply, relaxing without reason, or feeling a quiet assurance that everything is okay, even if nothing around you has visibly changed. That is how their energy touches our world. Sometimes this shift feels like entering a sacred space, the kind of atmosphere that reminds you of a quiet chapel or a peaceful forest. It's a stillness that carries presence. You might find that your thoughts become clearer, or your worries soften without warning. That's not coincidence, it's alignment. Angels don't come to disrupt. They come to heal, to protect, and to raise the vibration of the space they enter. Many people describe feeling a sudden sense of being comforted, as if someone is silently saying, "You're safe. You're seen. You are loved." There may even be physical sensations, goosebumps, tingles on your skin, or a sudden warmth that surrounds you like a soft blanket. These are all ways the energy shift becomes real to the senses. Your body and spirit are sensitive to it, even when your mind is unsure. Children and pets often respond to this energy more openly. Have you ever noticed a pet staring into a corner of the room, wagging its tail or purring at something invisible? Or a child giggling or talking to someone you can't see? They are still connected to the spiritual realm in ways we often forget as adults. They sense the purity, the light, and the comfort of angelic presence without fear or doubt. Sometimes their reactions are our first clues that something divine is nearby. There may also be a change in the general atmosphere of your home over time. Arguments may decrease. People may feel more relaxed. You may find yourself drawn to activities that bring inner peace. Meditation, prayer, soft music, or even decluttering your space. When angels enter your home, it becomes easier to align with that energy of love and light. It's almost like the walls themselves begin to hold a more sacred vibration. This shift in energy isn't meant to be dramatic. It's meant to be healing. It's a quiet reminder from the heavens that we are watched over, guided, and deeply loved. So the next time you walk into your home and feel an unexpected calm wrap around you, don't dismiss it. Take a moment, breathe it in. You just might be standing in the glow of something divine, and if you welcome that energy, if you create space for it with love, kindness, and gratitude, don't be surprised if it stays. Because angels are drawn to the light in us, and once they find a home where love lives, they often choose to stay close. Would you like me to expand the next key point in a similar style and tone? There are moments when life offers us small, mysterious gifts, subtle signs that remind us there's more to this world than what we can see or touch. One of those sacred signs is the sudden presence of a beautiful fragrance, one that has no clear source yet feels deeply familiar or comforting. It may be the sweet scent of roses, a soft floral perfume, warm vanilla, sandalwood, or even a light, airy freshness like clean rain or morning dew. These fragrances often come out of nowhere and they disappear just as quickly, but in those few fleeting seconds they speak volumes, and many believe they are signs that angels are near. Smell is one of our most powerful senses. It's connected to memory, emotion, and instinct on a deep primal level. A single whiff can take us back to a childhood moment, a loved one's embrace, or a peaceful place we once knew. Angels use this sense as a way to communicate gently and meaningfully. They don't need grand entrances. Instead, they leave behind trails of beauty, fragrances that catch our attention and stir something in our souls. People often describe these experiences as completely unexplainable. The windows are closed, there are no candles, no perfumes, no flowers in the room, and yet out of nowhere the scent arrives, soft, unmistakable, and comforting. You may even find that these moments happen during times of prayer, reflection, or emotional vulnerability. When your heart is open, when your spirit is reaching out, that's when the divine tends to respond most clearly. Some of the most common angelic fragrances include roses, lilies, jasmine, and lavender. These scents are known for their spiritual symbolism. Roses, in particular, are strongly associated with the divine feminine and the presence of guardian angels. In many spiritual traditions, the scent of roses is believed to signal divine love and protection. Lavender is often linked to healing and peace, perfectly fitting for a moment when an angel might want to soothe your heart. It's also worth noting that these fragrances often carry emotional resonance. Sometimes they may remind you of a loved one who has passed, and that connection isn't accidental. Angels may use familiar scents to comfort you, to let you know that your loved one is safe and still with you in spirit. They act as messengers, not just from the divine, but from those who have crossed over and still want to reach out with love. These moments are especially powerful because they often arrive when we need reassurance the most. Maybe you're going through a difficult time. Maybe you've been questioning your path or feeling alone, and then suddenly the air changes. That soft, mysterious scent fills your space, and for a moment your heart knows what your mind can't explain. You're not alone. Help is near. You are loved. If you ever experience these unexplained fragrances, take it as a gift. You don't need to analyze or overthink it. Simply pause, close your eyes, and say thank you. Whether you say it out loud or in your heart, that moment of gratitude creates a beautiful connection. It lets the angels know you're open to their presence and invites more of that loving energy into your life. These fragrances are gentle signs, like a brush of wings across your skin or a whispered word you didn't quite catch. They're not meant to frighten or confuse. They're meant to comfort and awaken you to the unseen world around you. The divine is closer than we think, and sometimes all it takes is a breath, a single breath of an unexplained fragrance to remind us of just how loved and guided we truly are. Sometimes the most profound spiritual messages come in the smallest, most unexpected ways. If you've ever found a perfectly placed white feather in your path or noticed a shiny coin in a spot where it simply shouldn't be, you may have brushed up against the work of angels. These little gifts, these gentle tokens, are often much more than coincidences. They are whispers from the divine. Messages from unseen guides who walk with us, comfort us, and remind us that we are never truly alone. Feathers, especially white ones, are perhaps the most well-known symbol of angelic presence. They are delicate, pure, and seem to appear just when we need reassurance or encouragement. You might be going through a difficult moment, questioning your choices, or simply feeling the weight of life. And then out of nowhere, a feather's there, on your doorstep, inside your car, tucked between the pages of a book, or even resting on your pillow. It feels impossible, almost too perfect to ignore. That's because it is a sign. Angels leave feathers as a gentle nudge, a quiet reminder that they are close, watching and guiding you. Coins are another common sign that angels may be nearby. Finding a penny or a dime in unusual places isn't just luck, it's often symbolic. In many spiritual traditions, coins are seen as messages of abundance, support, or even reminders from loved ones who have passed on. If you find yourself noticing coins more frequently, pay attention to when and where they appear. Was it during a moment of financial worry? Was it a day when you asked for guidance or clarity? These small pieces of metal can carry big meaning. They may be your angel's way of telling you you are being provided for. Trust the journey. Sometimes angels will leave behind other little gifts. Objects that hold personal or symbolic meaning to you. It might be a heart-shaped rock, a flower petal, a charm, or even an object from your childhood that suddenly resurfaces after years. These aren't random. They are deeply intentional. Angels don't communicate in long sentences or dramatic scenes. Instead, they speak through signs, through synchronicities, through the language of the soul. And these gifts, however small, are filled with spiritual weight. They arrive when your heart is open, when your spirit is seeking, and when you most need a reminder that the universe is listening. These signs also tend to appear when you're in a heightened emotional state. You might be grieving, searching for direction, or feeling a deep sense of loneliness. In those vulnerable moments, you're actually more spiritually attuned. Your defenses are down, and your heart is reaching out into the unseen. That's when angels step forward. That's when they drop a feather on your path or guide your eyes to a glinting coin in the sunlight. They come to say, "We're here." Keep going. It's important to remember that these signs aren't always meant to be dramatic or life-changing. They're often gentle touches on your awareness, subtle enough to miss if you're too busy or distracted. That's why being present, being mindful is so important. When you start to notice these little gifts, acknowledge them, say a quiet thank you, reflect on what was happening in your life at that moment. What were you thinking about? What were you feeling? These are clues. The more you notice, the more the signs seem to appear, because angels respond to awareness, to gratitude, to faith. In the end, these feathers, coins, and symbolic tokens are not just objects. They are sacred messages wrapped in simplicity. They remind us that even when we cannot see our angels, they are with us, watching, guiding, loving. And sometimes all it takes is one small gift to awaken your soul to the divine presence that's been beside you all along. There's something mysterious and awe-inspiring about light, especially when it appears where it shouldn't, or moves in ways that defy explanation. Flashes of light, shimmering orbs, and fleeting shadows that seem to dance just beyond your line of sight can all be powerful signs that angels are nearby. These moments are subtle, yet striking. They don't demand attention with loud fanfare. Instead, they arrive like a quiet breath from heaven, a momentary glimmer that makes you pause and wonder, did I really just see that? Angels are beings of pure energy and light. They don't have physical bodies the way we do, but their spiritual presence can sometimes intersect with our world in visual ways. One of the most common forms of this is through unexplained flashes of light. Brief, radiant bursts that appear in the corner of your eye or directly in front of you without any logical source. These flashes can be white, gold, blue, or even violet. They don't hurt your eyes or feel threatening. On the contrary, many people describe them as comforting, beautiful, and filled with peace. These lights often come when you're deep in thought, in prayer, or in an emotionally charged moment. You might be asking for help, feeling lost, or experiencing deep gratitude when suddenly a quick flicker catches your eye. You look around, but there's no reflection, no lamp, no screen, nothing to explain it, and yet you know it was real. That's not an accident. It's a gentle visual sign from the spiritual realm, a sign that you've been heard, that someone, some divine presence is with you. In addition to flashes of light, many people report seeing or sensing soft, fleeting shadows or movements just outside their line of sight. These aren't the cold, eerie shadows that stir fear. They are graceful, quiet movements, gentle shifts in the atmosphere. Almost like someone walking past you or brushing by lightly. Sometimes you might even feel a presence standing near without seeing anything clearly. It's as if something sacred has passed through your space, leaving a trail of calm behind. These shadows are not meant to frighten. They are part of how angelic beings make their presence known in a way we can sense but not always fully understand. Because angels vibrate at a much higher frequency than we do, our ability to see them directly is limited. But every now and then, when the conditions are just right, when our hearts are open, when we're in a spiritually receptive state, we catch a glimpse, a flash of light, a shadow of grace. And in those moments, we are reminded that the veil between our world and the spiritual realm is thin. These signs can also appear in photographs or videos. Perhaps you've taken a picture in your home and noticed orbs of light that weren't visible at the time. Or maybe there's a soft glow in the corner of a photo right beside someone who needed healing or comfort. While skeptics might dismiss these as lens flares or dust particles, those who are spiritually sensitive know better. When these images align with emotions, events, or deep spiritual moments, they take on a whole new meaning. It's important to trust your intuition in these experiences. If you feel comforted, uplifted, or suddenly more peaceful after witnessing these lights or shadows, listen to that feeling. Your soul recognizes the truth even when your mind hesitates. You're not imagining things. You're receiving a message. So the next time you see a flicker that vanishes too quickly or sense a presence you can't explain, pause. Close your eyes, breathe. You just might be in the company of an angel, and in that moment, remember, the divine doesn't need words to speak. Sometimes all it takes is a flash of light or a graceful shadow to remind you that heaven is closer than you think. Life has a way of becoming overwhelming. There are times when everything feels like it's falling apart, when the world is spinning too fast, and nothing seems to make sense. In those moments of chaos, heartbreak, or confusion, something remarkable can happen. A calm settles over you like a warm blanket wrapping around your soul. The tears may still fall, the situation may still be uncertain, but deep inside you feel okay. You feel held. You feel strong in a way you didn't expect. This is one of the clearest and most powerful signs that angels are near. Angels often come closest to us in moments of deep need. They don't wait for perfection. They aren't drawn only to peaceful, happy moments. In fact, they are most active during the storms. When we are hurting, when we are afraid, and when we are at our most vulnerable. Their mission is to guide, to protect, and to offer divine comfort. And in the middle of chaos, they bring peace, not always by changing our circumstances, but by changing how we experience them. Think about those moments in your life when everything seemed uncertain, and yet you found a strength you didn't know you had. Maybe you were going through a breakup, grieving a loss, dealing with a health scare, or feeling completely lost in your direction, and then something shifted. You might have heard a soft, reassuring voice in your heart, not with words, but with feelings. Or perhaps you felt a sudden wave of calm, even if the problem hadn't gone away. That's the quiet intervention of angels. They don't always fix the situation, but they give you the strength to walk through it. This divine comfort is subtle yet unmistakable. You may find yourself breathing deeper than before, even if you were just crying. You may feel a surge of hope for no apparent reason. You may even laugh or smile in the middle of the pain, sensing that somehow you are going to be okay. That's not denial, that's divine reassurance. That's the presence of something greater than yourself, helping you carry the weight you thought was unbearable. For many people, this angelic comfort also shows up through signs and synchronicities. You might hear a song that speaks directly to your situation. You might receive a call or message from someone you hadn't spoken to in a while, just when you needed it most. You may even feel a sensation like someone holding your hand or placing a gentle hand on your shoulder, even though no one is physically there. These are not coincidences. These are the ways angels let you know you are not walking through this alone. Children often describe seeing or feeling someone kind near them during nightmares or scary moments. Adults might be too quick to rationalize it, but children speak from a place of purity, and their words often reveal deeper truths. Angels don't need to be seen to be present. They show up as warmth, light, peace, and stillness in the center of chaos. If you've ever experienced that strange sense of comfort in a storm, trust it. Don't brush it off. That moment is sacred. It means someone heard your cry, even the silent one you didn't speak out loud. It means someone stepped into your space, wrapped you in light, and reminded you of your inner resilience. Angels don't always take the pain away, but they always bring peace. And in the middle of life's hardest moments, when everything feels broken, their presence is the quiet reminder that you are stronger than you think, more loved than you know, and never, ever alone. When chaos surrounds you, listen for the silence. That's where the angels are, in the stillness, in the strength, in the love that holds you up, even when everything else feels like it's falling apart. When angels want to reach us, they don't always knock at the door or speak in thunderous voices. More often than not, they communicate in the quietest ways, through our dreams, through repeated numbers, and through soft internal nudges that guide us toward the right path. These signs may seem small at first, but if you pay attention, they carry deep spiritual meaning. They are the language of the divine. A whisper from beyond the veil that says, "We're here, we're guiding you, keep listening." Dreams are one of the most common ways angels reach out. When we sleep, our conscious mind relaxes and our spiritual awareness opens. In that state, we are more receptive to messages that our waking mind might overlook or dismiss. Angels often appear in dreams as radiant beings or even as familiar faces that bring peace, comfort, or wisdom. The dream may not be vivid in the traditional sense, but you'll often wake up with a lingering feeling, an overwhelming sense of love, or a sudden clarity about something you've been struggling with. Sometimes these dreams don't involve seeing anyone at all. Instead, they carry symbolic imagery, a glowing light, flying, a protective presence, or even being handed something meaningful. You might wake up with a solution to a problem, a sense of peace about a situation, or a feeling that you were not alone during the night. That's because you weren't. Angels often work through dreams to bring reassurance, healing, and divine insight, especially when our hearts are in need of comfort or clarity. Another way angels send signs is through repeated numbers, especially sequences like 111, 222, 333, and so on. These are often referred to as angel numbers, and they're believed to carry specific vibrational meanings. You might see these numbers on clocks, receipts, license plates, phone numbers, seemingly everywhere. If you keep noticing the same number pattern over and over, don't ignore it. Angels are trying to get your attention. Each number sequence has a spiritual message behind it. For instance, 111 is often a sign of alignment and manifestation, a reminder that your thoughts are powerful and shaping your reality. Seeing 222 might mean balance is coming or that you're on the right path. 444 often symbolizes protection, and 555 may indicate that change is on the horizon. You don't need to become a numerologist to receive the message. What matters most is how you feel when you see these numbers. Do you feel comforted, curious, reassured? That emotional response is part of the message. Then there are the spiritual nudges, those little inner pulls that seem to come from nowhere, yet lead you exactly where you need to be. Maybe it's a sudden urge to call someone, take a different route, or make a decision that doesn't make sense logically, but feels right in your gut. Angels often work through intuition, planting ideas or feelings that push us gently toward healing, safety, or opportunity. If you've ever said, "I don't know why I did that, but I'm so glad I did," chances are you were listening to a divine nudge. These nudges are rarely loud. They won't compete with the noise of a busy mind or a distracted heart, but in moments of stillness, in those quiet in-between spaces, you'll feel them. A soft inner knowing, a gut instinct, a whisper that leads you forward. The more you listen, the more you'll notice them. The more you trust them, the stronger they become. So whether it's a dream that leaves your heart full, numbers that appear like magic, or a gentle feeling that says, "Go this way," know that you are not imagining things. These are messages, signs, proof that you are surrounded by divine guidance every step of the way. The angels are speaking. You just have to be still enough to hear.